And that's the thing for me. Lightning is what we say about, is humanity still there? Is there still humanity on this planet? It's what lightning shows me there is. I mean, literally, how many people have open channels to throw liquidity? And when we say throw liquidity, it's money. People are throwing money, like the equivalent in
Yeah.
Bitcoin, at other people to help them receive payments. That's
Yeah.
what it is. So
Yeah.
that they can literally get money in and live
Yeah.
their lives. That's what they're doing, this for the whole fucking country. And these are all people around the world, from everywhere, from Canada to Namibia to Jamaica, like fucking everywhere, people. That's wild.
Yeah. There's, I think,
I must sound like
19.
a
No,
crackhead.
we both did.
The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness, 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 happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure.
Welcome to One Love Bitcoin. This is Dread. Today I'm going to talk to a brethren I met on Plebnet named Okin, and he's all the way from Namibia. So going back to the motherland to have another interview, talk to my brethren about edutainment. We talked about podcasting 2.0, and we also talked about, naturally, Plebnet. Enjoy this one. One love.
Beware of cars, I spit bars like guitar sets. We call next on the markers with the mean arse tips. Eating from the bottom for too long. These hood rat chicks, they have me wasting my coupons. Beware of cars, I spit bars like guitar sets. We called next on the models with the mean arse tits. Eating from the bottom for too long. These hood rat chicks, they have me wasting my coupons. I could pawn my PlayStation 3 games in exchange for some coverage. Black music to white people have enough of it. Enough of us are schooled by the game to know its tactics. It all came together in phases like band practice. Same axis moving with egos of paid actors. Taking shots from a bottle with a picture of a strange cactus. It's bourgeois, king of the playground, monarch, free slave. But at the same time cornered by the city lights. Light-skinned girls and Range Rovers while you study in your room and I'm nursing a hangover. Tell them keep them guessing. Don't let them know what you're gonna do next. They waiting for that right jab, then hit them with the suplex. Girls who text while talking of bad manners. If I owe you my success, then part of my bad manners. I think gratitude should be given in different doses, but the vodka makes its way through my brain through osmosis. Ask Moses God what he thought before he...
Salutations, mortals, and welcome to From the Jump Season 2. I'm your host, Okin, and today we have an extremely special guest. I mean, this man is on another continent, and not one of the continents that I have been to before on this show. Dread, please let these people know who you are, what you do, and why we're here.
Greetings and one love, everybody. This is Dread, and I'm from Jamaica. And, you know, I'm a regular pleb, Bitcoiner, if you guys know about Bitcoin. And I'm just here with my boy over there from Namibia to explore all the different options that we have together. And I've never been to his continent either. So this is a first for both of us.
Yeah. And you see, this is the thing, like, as you just said, we met via Plebnet, and Plebnet in itself, for people that a lot of you won't know, especially like if you're just getting into Bitcoin. I just really fell into Bitcoin like a little while ago, but Plebnet is basically a community of people that, let Dread tell you. Dread, let them know exactly what Plebnet is, what KYC Jelly is all about, like all of the crazy insanity that's going on.
Oh man, like the word I always use to describe it is girth. That's like my favorite word right now. I mean, it has to do with the size of your network, really, and the size of the friendships that we're building. But yeah, to your point, Plebnet, how would I describe Plebnet? Plebnet is like you go online, and you're in Clubhouse too, right? Yeah, I think you're in Clubhouse.
Yeah.
You go online, you talk to a bunch of people, and they have no idea how to use the Lightning Network, which is like a layer 2 technology on top of Bitcoin. So they're all trying to feel around in the dark together to figure it out, and they all join this Telegram group. And I'm talking about from 5 to 10 to 15. Now it's like 1,400 people in there, and they all just join the Telegram group to figure it out, right? And it becomes this thing of plebeians that we call Plebnet. And that's all it is. People keep on thinking it's some big organization or some, some company that sponsored it.
No, or man, a cult or some shit.
Or religion, No, it's just a bunch of regular people trying to figure this shit out.
But again, you say a bunch of regular people, but I mean, as somebody that is part of the plebnet community, I mean, I shut up my node. I think I was like the 80th node or something, and that was still when people were
Nice.
like, plebnet wasn't so big, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I woke up one day and there was 1,400 fucking messages, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, where did all these people come from? And it was literally you. It was you. And I remember I watched your and this is also a shout out to BTC sessions. You were on BTC sessions just the other day, also just telling people about this incredible thing called Plebnet and the Lightning Network, which is exactly what we hear. I mean, Bitcoin in itself is such a behemoth that people, when I first heard about it, I was scared, you know, and this was back in 2012. A friend of mine who now coincidentally I also have interviewed on a little bit of Bitcoin, and his interviews actually just coming out before yours. But he approached me and he told me, you know, back then, like, you should pay attention to this Bitcoin thing. Just you know, tap in, listen. And I was like, I'm getting drunk, man. I don't have time for this, you know. And then when I went to China to do my master's in 2015, 2016, sorry, 2016, 2017, and like, you know, there it was like crypto was just that was the word. Like, yo, you need to come to these events and you need to come and find out what blockchain is, and you need to, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to get drunk. Like, I've got theses to write, I got papers, I don't have time to be thinking about something else right now. And now looking back, I'm like, damn, you were told twice. So at least on the third time I picked up, I was like, all right, let me find out how. And that's how I got to Plebnet. Like, I don't know where, I think it was on Twitter, and somebody was like, oh, you're trying to build a node or like put a node together? Just go to this plebnet.org. And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
kycjelly.com, right?
And I was like, what the fuck? KY, what? Clicked it, and it's like a Telegram group. I get in there and people are just helping me. Literally from the goodness of their hearts. They're like, okay, where are you in the steps? All right, do this. Try this out. Okay, this is how you do this. I'll open a channel to you and let's get you some liquidity movements. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, is this real?
Yeah. And they helped you every step of the way. I mean, these people are they're willing to help, and nobody's getting paid for it. And they went through the same thing themselves. So they're like, yo, I could help you too. And then you help the next person, help the next person.
Correct.
And all the channels exponentially connect together, you know? So every new node that comes on the network, right now is like 300 nodes. That's 300 new channel possibilities for Plebnet right there. It's just amazing.
And that's just within Plebnet. I mean, most of those people are also connected to other channels and other people outside of Plebnet itself. But I remember you gave us statistics whereby I think you said Plebnet is something like 2.5% currently of the entire Lightning Network.
That was back when we were only like 190 something nodes, right? Now we're 300 nodes, so we're probably a lot more than that. I don't really know the exact number, but it keeps on growing. And we're also, to your point, connected to nodes that are very significant. Like, we're connected to the main Bitcoin Beach node down in El Salvador. So we're providing them 2.5% of the liquidity across the entire network. We're connected to Fold. So all the gift cards and whatever Fold's doing we're giving them liquidity too. Bitrefill, like, we have these big institutions now that as long as one of us connect to that node, to that institution, the entire Plebnet is just feeding liquidity through it. It's amazing.
So let me give these people just a little bit of a breakdown, just in case we're losing people with these terms that we're using right now, right? So basically, a node is like me being my own central bank, correct?
Correct.
And then I'm connecting to a network of other central banks and speaking to them to then route payments and transfers and all of that through our channels that we have then established, correct?
Correct. And not just payments, but final settlement, like central banks would do with each other. Yep.
Exactly. So, and in that, not needing a third party like another central bank to say, hold on, wait, we need to wait 5 days and maybe we might let it through if we can find a route, because some of the times they need to find a route too and then pay a routing fee. And that's what we as everyday people don't really see the back end of what banks are doing.
Exactly.
But for the most part, at an abstract way, this is kind of what's going on, is what we're doing with Plebnet is just signing agreements with each other.
We are automated agreements that we're paying a few sats to transfer. Like, if I have a node with my own central bank and you have your own central bank down there and you want to send some money to somebody in Togo, for example, they have their own central bank, I can route through you and you can get like 1 sat, 2 sat for that route, as opposed to, you know, me having to in the fiat world, or in the traditional central banks, get approval from some government and then send it and wait 5 days for a wire transfer, and then have them go through KYC and check my first and
Yeah.
last name, and all that stuff is bullshit now. Like, we just do it together
Yeah.
because we're plebs. And the Lightning
Correct.
Network
And
is
it's
cryptographically secure and cryptographically pseudonymous. So I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know your name. I just need to know you have a node, and that node follows
Yeah.
the rules. Let's do some business.
And speaking of which, you mentioned Bitcoin Beach. Now you were actually on the ground in El Salvador during the time, like what I like to call almost like a Bitcoin revolution. Like what's going on there right now has started a domino effect that is going to, whether people like it or not, it's going to go really far. So
Yeah.
it's time people start paying attention. So could you tell us just a bit more? Because even like our interaction of, hey man, if you can change your name because I'm trying to fuck around with the boss score, I'll send you 5,000 sats, just send me proof. Like doing that in itself is just from you being like, look man, I want to do something, so I'm gonna do it. Right. So can you talk to me about your experience of this, of going to or going to Bitcoin Beach, and like just everything that you guys were doing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Bridget. I hope you got time, because
Yeah,
it's a good
I
story.
do. You are on the ground. This is not like a third party telling me right now. This is exactly what
man.
I'm saying. It's from the source. I love it.
I was in Jamaica, because that's where I live, and I kept on trying to figure out different ways to create this circular economy in Jamaica, to have people use Bitcoin, but not just use it to buy and invest and hold like an investment, but I mean like money, like have it in their pocket, go buy their food with it,
Correct.
go pay their rent with it, right, and earn money by working for it. And I couldn't figure it out, because every time I talked to people, there was all these FUD and fear of scams. FUD means, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. People who don't know, they were scared of it. They thought it was, you've heard of OneCoin, you've heard of PlusCoin, you've heard of all these scams out there
Correct.
that take your money and then disappear. So they were worried Bitcoin would be the same thing, and nobody wanted to take a risk. So I saw Bitcoin Beach 2 years ago. They started advertising, but they posted on Twitter and had a website up, but they were really, really small. All they had was, I want to say, a fruit cart that was selling some fruit and accepting Bitcoin. And then they had like, one little store that sold like small groceries and, pupusas and stuff like that on the side of the road, by the beach. The beach is called El Zonte, where it's a really good surfing town, but really small, maybe like 5,000 people max. And they're all like lower socioeconomic, like very low poverty. But they were happy people. They lived by the beach, they surfed, and it was cool when I went down there. But all I saw on the pictures at the time was one fruit truck and one restaurant, or a store, I guess you can call it. And I was like, all right, well, this Bitcoin Beach seems cute. It's a little thing with two people, so I'll keep watching them. And I watched and watched and watched. And then recently, I think Peter McCormack put out a podcast that Jack Mallers, Miles Studer, and Michael Peterson were on, talking about the progress they made. And this was in probably early April. And they made a massive amount of progress in a year and a half. I mean, they went from just that one fruit cart and just that one restaurant to literally almost every single store in El Zonte accepting Bitcoin and accepting Lightning payments. And I mean, restaurants, construction companies, supermarkets, schools, like they were paying people to teach in Bitcoin. When I saw that, I was like, all right, hold on a second. I need to go down there and find out what's going on. They figured some shit
Like, how
out.
is this working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
yeah. So I went down, so I messaged Michael and said, yo, Jamaica, I want to find out how to do it over here. I'm coming down there to find out what's going on. And Michael said, come on through. And I don't know if you believe me, because in the next day I booked a ticket and I flew my ass down there and showed up. And they were all down there just chilling. They're like, whoa, you really came? And I'm like, yeah, I came. Show me what's up. So he kind of took me through the whole process of how they set it up. And it's not really a magic, and I'll tell you how it is in a second, but it's not really some magic process that they used. It was really just the people. It was the people of El Salvador that made it happen. But once I landed,
before you tell me how it happened, just sorry to interrupt you, but just
No
before,
problem.
just because I want a full disclosure, like I have to mention on here so people aren't like, oh no, Oaken just came up with this idea because he stole it from Dread. No, so I have kind of touched on it with you before. What I'm trying to do in here in Namibia with the creatives and how I'm
Yes.
trying to introduce Bitcoin and Lightning payments through using, because I'm a creative. So I was like, what's the best way to get paid instead of like trying to argue with people about payments and just pay me in Bitcoin, bro. Just pay me in Bitcoin and we're good, right? So to start introducing to people how that works, I want to basically the idea is to use Breeze
Mhm.
because I have my podcast. This podcast we're on right now runs
Mhm.
on Breeze. So
Yep.
you will be able to listen to this and stream sets to me while, because that's why it's called value for value podcasting, right? And this is a whole type of economy that is starting to be built. So I'm trying to bring this information through edutainment events where, you know, you can, normally they're like, oh, tip the singer, right? And there's like a little jar or a hat. So now there's a QR code and you can send him sats, and like
Yeah.
you can buy, you know, loaded fries and a beer with sats and like, you know, different things, just to small things that you can introduce on menus that also has the merchant feeling like, okay, look, I can afford to test out with that. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
major stuff to sell. And in
Yeah.
that, then get people comfortable and slowly build. So this is why, for me, having this conversation with you is so important and building. So I just wanted to put that in there. Now, please tell me what happened.
And for those who don't know, Breeze is this, you know, amazing layer 2 app
Amazing.
that runs on top of Lightning. It also has on-chain Bitcoin transaction if you want, but like you said, you can literally run your show, earn some money, pay me in Bitcoin, use the same exact app, turn around and scan a QR code to pay for some shit. Like it's an all-in-one. You know, you earn and pay on one.
and it's non-custodial.
And it's I've never seen anything in the world like it yet, to be honest with you. Nothing that you can earn and pay in the same app. Come on, like I don't know anything like that. So
And you
so
can
it-
speak to the CEO like very easily. I speak to Roy all the time,
That's
like,
pretty
and
cool.
that's why we've partnered now officially. That's why I'm using his logos and stuff, because we've
Okay.
spoken. I told him what I'm trying to do with the show and everything, and he was like, "Man, here's the logos. Just go ahead." Like, you know. And this is the thing about people in the Bitcoin and Lightning space, as you were saying, very
Yeah.
helpful, very willing to build with other people.
Yep. It's open source, you know, it's open communication, open source, and we're building it together. You know, nobody's in an ivory tower standing, you know, trying to control anything anymore, which is amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
back to Bitcoin Beach. When I got there, as soon as I landed, to the time I left 7 days later, I swear to you, I didn't spend not $1 or any kind of other fiat currency at all.
You lived the whole
At
week
all.
on just on Bitcoin.
On Lightning the whole week. Like I had to load up my Strike up. I had to load up they have a custom app down there called the Bitcoin Beach app that you load up just like Breeze actually. The only thing it doesn't have is the entire streaming and community that Breeze
Okay.
has, but it's a Lightning / on-chain wallet you can use. And I loaded those two things up and I paid for my hotel, my surfing lessons, my yoga, my food, my fruit, my drinks at night, like tipping bartenders. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then if I ever did need US dollars, which I didn't, each one of these little restaurants, maybe like 50% of them had these little boxes, little cash boxes. They call them Strike boxes because, you know, Strike came up
Yeah.
with them. And you just go, you scan a code and you get dollars if you want them. So
I saw
you never
those. I
have
was
to
like,
work.
this is amazing.
Yeah, man. So I was down there and I was just like, yo, if this is the way it can really work, and I see people earning money, earning Bitcoin, I should say, and
Yeah.
paying for what they want in this economy, it was a full circular economy. It's exactly what I was looking for. And they built it there within less than 2 years. And they didn't build it with any big companies. What he did is he went in and he started social programs, right? They needed programs for beach cleanups, for local security for the people, for English language classes so they can learn English to be able to communicate with tourists and other things. Simple social programs. And those social programs are bootstrapped by, you know, somebody sponsoring it, whether it was a community sponsor. In this case, it was an anonymous donor that we still don't know who it is, but it was an anonymous donor that gave some Bitcoin. It wasn't even that much. I think it was like 10 Bitcoin total. And it bootstrapped
That's a
the
lot.
entire. I mean, it's a lot now. It's a lot now, but 2 years ago, think about it. 2 years ago, that was like 1/5 the price,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
less.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
that's
they
great.
bootstrapped the entire economy doing that. So to me, it's like if you can bootstrap a country, to end up accepting Bitcoin as legal tender with 10 Bitcoin, shit.
Like,
Find me
what
some.
else can you do? Like,
Exactly. So I'm now building this template that I, from what I learned down there, I'm building this template to try and have a very easy to follow step-by-step process that you can go to any country and start this with, for countries that have the same characteristics as El Salvador, which is majority unbanked, oppressive monetary policies for the government, already hyperinflated or near hyperinflating currency, and then lastly, a people that actually are looking for a way out because they're not nihilistic for their government. There's some countries that, I hate to say it, but the people are so oppressed, they really aren't even looking for a way out. They're just like, the government already got us, we're done. And that takes a lot more education to get over that, right? But if you have people that are ready for that and they're looking for a way out, just give it to them. Oh, and the last thing is cell phones. That is so important. If your country has people, because I'm sure it's the same way there in Africa. In Namibia specifically, like everyone should have a cell phone by now, or some kind of Android device that they can use, a smartphone. And if that's the case, you can use Bitcoin.
So this was what I was going to ask you, right? So for a lot of and this is actually, you've answered the question. So with cell phones, Namibia is a very special case, right? So with us, we even have gone as far as when you buy airtime to load up on your phone, right? So like with us, you not all cell phones are connected to contracts, right? So you can have a pay as you go, which is what most of the population has, and then you load on your airtime, your credit, and then you get your data or whatever, and you move with it, right? When you buy airtime, you're taxed. Your airtime is taxed. So let's say I buy 10 Namibian dollars of airtime. I get back $8.50. I get $8.50 of airtime, but I've paid $10. Do you get me? So this was a way of taxing the untaxable. You get me? Like people that are in the villages and stuff that don't normally pay tax, but buy airtime. What's the easiest way to tax these people? Tax the airtime.
Yeah.
Everybody's taxed. It's crazy, right? So my question was going to be, what would you do in the sense of, people that don't have, like, access to the internet is a very big hindering factor for a lot of Africans, especially in rural areas. Like, how do you get the internet out there so that we can have this economy out there? But then again, I think that's also, we work towards that solution. We know what the problem is in that sense, and we can start somewhere and work towards it. But yeah, so the cell phone thing is
how is the cell phone and internet access over there? Like, what's the statistics, I guess, on coverage across Namibia and I guess cell phone access? It's not good. It's not good.
Well, it's a lot better than it was a decade ago. I will give you that. And we're not like the worst, but we're not. I mean, it could be better. There's just areas where there's low connectivity. So there's places where you can't get 4G, of course, right? But there's places that you don't even get edge. You literally go down to 3G.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
So sometimes it depends on where you are. Some places, of course, if you're on a farm that's really far and there's absolutely no towers anywhere, then you just can't do anything. But a lot of places, people just put up a booster tower. I mean, if you can afford it, if you're on a farm and you are making some money. But again, there are a lot more. Not really. I mean, we have fiber. Yeah. Like I have a fiber connection right now. So, but there's levels, and the pricing of everything is, we're not as bad as South Africa. Like South Africa's data charges are fucking like criminal. It's criminal what those people have to pay for data, right? Because without having access, especially in lockdown times, to data, to work, how are you supposed to earn to move on? Again, this is where Lightning comes in and is like, wait, let me show you how you do that. Let me show you how you can do this. Like I saw, and just quickly, just last topic that I want to quickly touch on. There was this documentary, can't remember its name right now. It was out on Netflix, I believe. About basically there was this professor, or these guys in the US, who, along with a school in South Africa, decided, okay, we're gonna basically make an experiment whereby we'll attach a device to the electricity grid of the school, okay, and then have the payment that would be made, like if you were to have, like, let's say, you pay for your electricity, you pay as you go,
Yeah.
like the meters that you just top up, but this meter was, it was like, so they just fixed it so that it could be topped up with Bitcoin, right? Like there was literally like an address where you could set Bitcoin to, and then that would then generate electricity as a payment. So they sat in, I think, I can't remember, it was San Francisco or somewhere in the US in the university, and they literally made the payment while like on a phone with somebody on a Zoom call, type of thing, and watching the lights go on in a place that had no electricity just by sending it. And this was before Lightning, right? So this took some time, and they were doing this on chain. So like this would have been immediately right now, like, poop,
Right.
there you go. There's your. So the
Is
use
that-
cases of it is like, it's
Is
mind
that use
blowing.
case
That's
still
what got
there?
me.
Like, are they still doing that today, where you can pay for
I
the light-
mean,
the
I don't know.
electricity?
I think it was just a once-off use case.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they would have tried to implement it further. I think it's something
Yeah.
I should look up on, but definitely it was one of the things that got me really interested in Bitcoin again, where I was like, wait a minute, that's a crazy possibility, and that means there's a lot more.
That is crazy. I've never heard that before. I know I was talking to Fode the other day. He's another Bitcoiner from Senegal, and he did something similar where he created a payment, and the payment opened a Tesla car. Like once he made like a Lightning invoice.
What?
When you send the Lightning invoice, it unlocked the car so you can go in it and drive it. I'm like,
Oh, that's
so many freaking
you see-
possibilities.
and the weirdest thing is, for me, Lightning isn't a new technology in the sense that I've seen the thought before with WeChat in China and in Asia, right? The
Yeah.
thought of, I can go to a lady sitting on the side of the street that's got a QR code in front of her, and she can give me water, and I just literally scan and pay. But that is it was all linked up with bank accounts, and it was a process, but it could be done. And just to think, oh shit, instead of trying to recreate that, boom. Oh, Bitcoin, you guys don't want to believe we can do this? Here's the Lightning. Like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah.
It's
Lightning is going to destroy a lot of people's narratives about needing banks and needing, even other coins. Like Lightning is, to me, that's what my passion is. My passion for the last probably 4 years has been Bitcoin, but now it's like Lightning. It's like this is where we need to take it if we want to actually start onboarding countries like ours.
correct.
Yeah.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. Now, I think, look, people will always say, yeah, no, these guys are talking about all the niceties and all the good things, and everything does come with a downside, right? Everything comes with needs to be worked out, needs to be ironed out. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges that we're currently facing, Lightning and Bitcoin wise? Because I kind of separate them just in thought, because, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So what would be yours?
Well, I always say that, Bitcoin can fix almost anything. Bitcoin fixes this. I say it all the time, but the one thing that Bitcoin itself can't directly fix is knowledge, is education. I feel like the lack of education, the lack of awareness and education across the board. I mean, like over 90% of people have no fucking idea what we're talking about right now. Like they look at this podcast and say, "You guys are talking a different language." Like what? Lightning nodes, layer 2 technology. They don't know what they're talking about. And I feel like that needs to really be on the forefront if we want this to continue to grow. It's going to grow regardless, because Bitcoin doesn't give a shit. Bitcoin's going to be Bitcoin.
It
But
doesn't give a fuck about us.
but if we want our people to benefit, then education is so important. Education is like the thank you, Mother Dearest. That's my coffee here. Education is so
It's the way
important
forward.
because man, it's like, how do I explain it? When I spoke to a guy in El Salvador and he didn't know how to speak English, he said that he had to do surfing lessons for $2 per surfing lesson because he didn't know how to talk to the tourists. He had to depend on somebody else who knew the language and could talk to them and negotiate.
Yeah.
Once he learned English knowledge, he spoke to the tourists directly and made $10 per surfing lesson. He exponentially grew his earning potential by
Wow.
5 just by learning English. If people can learn what Bitcoin is, I don't even know what the exponential is, but they will grow their opportunity and their earning potential by a factor of whatever that knowledge is could be 100, could be 1,000 at this point, but the knowledge is the most important part. And that's why I feel like we have to do these podcasts, we have to educate, we have to
Yeah.
talk about it, because just us knowing is not going to be enough if you want to, you know, have people grow their potential.
But this is the thing, and as you said, look, I totally agree with you on everything you just said, right? And knowledge sharing is just fully the way forward, because, I mean, a couple of months ago, I had no clue what we're talking about right now. As we're sitting here, it took time. It took sitting there being like, you know, while I'm just about to fall asleep, and I'm thinking, man, how the fuck am I going to rebalance this channel? Let me go check this out real quick. And, you know, and it's in your head because it's almost like a puzzle that you can figure out. You know, you can figure it out. You just got to put in the time, do some research, do some reading. And that's, I think, where most people fumble, is the fact that they have to literally do their own research and read. And they can't just have somebody spoon feed it to them and say, no, don't worry. It's just press A and everything's going to happen. I'll do it for you. And then that's where the problem is I have to do the work. Why must I do the work for my own betterment when I can pay somebody? And that's going to screw me over again. But you see, I think that's where the stumbling block for Bitcoin is. And but
and I
as you
think that
said,
comes from the school system too. I think the school system has trained people to just wait for knowledge to be pushed to them by some teacher or some authority, and then be forced to do homework, you know, to learn the stuff themselves. The school system doesn't really give you the opportunity to be curious and find out and work for yourself to find out this information. So when you get older now, you're like, well, somebody's going to teach me. Some authority is going to tell me what to do. You got to break that.
But
man.
you see, the weird thing is, we're on different sides of the world, and our school system screwed us the same way.
Fucking school system, man.
It's wild. It's wild. But I do truly believe in the pay it forward mentality, and that's why I'm doing these edutainment events. You know, even some of the guys that I'm doing the event with, they came to me and were like, "Hold on, man, what is the shit you're always tweeting about? Where did you get this info?" And I got it from somebody that was like, "Listen, guys, if you want to find out, you want to talk to me about music, Bitcoin, business, anything, buy $300 Namibian worth of Bitcoin. That's like the minimum that you can buy on any exchange anyway. Like, it's that equivalent." And I was like, let me just give you what that is in US. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me give you quickly, just real.
I don't think your dollar's better than ours. The Jamaican
that's like 21 Namibian. I mean, that's 21 US dollars.
Okay. Yeah, you have a better exchange rate than we do. Jamaica's like 1 to 144, something like that.
Yeah, but you know that I can fly to your country and you can fly to mine without any visas? Just for so you know. We don't need visas.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. I'll be there.
I can come to your country and just ball out for like a while, bro. You can just fly through if you want to. Like it's
We're doing this. We're doing this. I'm flying over there. So I've been waiting for a place to go to.
You see, okay, but right now we are a COVID hotspot just because of how our numbers went up. So there's a lot of warnings on the fact. But I mean, my cousin flew in with he's fully vaccinated. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I'm coming.
I was about to say something. So yeah, you see, the thing is, just with all these technologies that integrate so well, it's almost like there was a meeting and everybody said, okay, who here knows how to do X? And then you run with that and you run with what and let's all come back and convene and just integrate our shit without any arguments, without one trying to get $1 off of somebody else, and just, it's fucking insane. I don't understand why all this stuff is free. It's like,
it's a real, I don't understand why any of this shit is free.
I'll give it to you like a crazy one. I was warned to stay away from the shit coins, right? By the guy that told me buy 300 like Namibian dollars worth and then you can talk to me, right? So like, it was like, listen, just stick with Bitcoin. Stay away from these shit coins. I know people have the hype and you think you're gonna be a millionaire. Just let it go and just stick with Bitcoin and learn what's going on. And I was like, yeah. Went and bought some of the really shit coins, you know. And I was like, yeah, you see, the thing was, I didn't spend a lot of money though. Like legit, I did not spend a lot of money. And then I was like, I'm just gonna spend a little bit and I'm gonna see if it works out. So I had this whole strategy planned out in my head. This is how I'm gonna trade it. This is what I'm gonna do. And then the more I read, and then I touched on the Allen Marketplace, right? So there's literally a trading platform where you can trade sets, like Bitcoin cents, for those that don't know what sets are. So you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can buy a percentage of a Bitcoin, which is a set. So
Satoshis.
instead of buying a full US dollar, you can buy some pennies, you know, basically. and use those pennies to do things. So now when I realized that like all these trading strategies that are built up and like watching and reading and I'm like, wait, if I really want to trade, if I really want to see if the strategies work, I can just do it with a few sets, like minimal. Like I really don't have to spend any money to see if this strategy works for a period of time. And then I can maybe use it for something else. But then I was like, wait, trading Bitcoin is the stupidest thing I could ever do. Why would I do this? Like, buy that, hold that, just keep it. If you want to give me free shit coins, that's fine. But I'm just gonna hold my Bitcoin. I'm never trading that into another coin. That's just never gonna happen. And that's what made me research.
Why would you say that it's good to hold it versus trying to trade the Bitcoin? Because most people would say that trading is good to diversify, right?
But the thing is, what am I trading my Bitcoin into? Right? That's the ultimate thing of Bitcoin is there's only so many ever gonna be out there, right? It's still gonna take some time till the last one. So, but why, if I know this thing is valuable right now, right? It's only ever gonna be so many. It's like if somebody comes to me and says, "Yo, you can get a diamond. There's only ever gonna be 500 diamonds in the world ever. Here's one. But you can trade it if you want." I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? You just told me this thing's worth $1 million today. So what the fuck is it gonna be worth when I have kids that I'm not trading this. I might break off a little piece, pay some rent. Can I pay my rent in some of this? Which is sets, a little piece. You know what I'm saying? So no, I wouldn't trade Bitcoin into US dollars because the US dollar drops as well. So like everything's volatile in life. Everything can come and go. But at some point you gotta be like, wait, this one makes sense. Let me hold it.
Yeah. And to your point, you wouldn't trade US dollars because they just printed another $1 trillion US dollars. You know, they're not printing no more diamonds.
Yeah. Well, they're finding them somewhere, you know, and they're not even really buying those anymore. The value of that's also going down. So like, again, it's like everybody has, and for myself, I believe everybody should do what they want to do. If you don't want to buy Bitcoin, don't buy Bitcoin. If somebody gives you Bitcoin and you don't like the idea, pass it my way. I'll hold on to the Bitcoin. Give it to me. But I don't believe in this whole thing that people want to go with a system that just hasn't worked for all of us, any of us.
To that point, I'm always curious in other countries, like how bad it is, you know, like exactly how bad the system has failed. And, you know, it's failed us in terms of hyperinflation, like you can tell, our dollar's one US dollar to 144 Jamaican dollars. How has it failed in Namibia? And, you know, like what part of the system do you think Bitcoin is going to fix? Like the quickest, I guess.
The quickest thing that Bitcoin could fix in Namibia, besides, well, shit, man, so much. Like, let's put it like this, right? I do a job. Let's say I do voiceovers as well. So let's say I do a voiceover gig and they want to pay me. They are at a different bank than I am. Okay. Let's say I'm at FNB, they're at whatever. They're at a different bank than I am. They want to pay me. Depending on the bank, this could take, and when they pay it during the day, if it's like before 12 or after 12, depending on all those factors, I could get my money tomorrow or 2 days from now. If it's paid over a weekend and the Monday's a public holiday, I'm only getting my money on Wednesday, potentially. Right? All these things play factors. Now think of it as somebody that lives hand to mouth, right? Their employer only pays into bank accounts. They can't pay them in cash. But the place that they open the bank account isn't the same as their employer's bank account, okay? So there's already this little thing. But they need to, but when they get home, it's payday. They need to, their wife, whoever they have to, you know, provide for, who's at home, these people all need to pay for something. They can't get access to that money till 5 days from now because the money was paid on Friday. Monday's a public holiday. It's two different banks.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they're probably paying late fees now because they missed their payment date.
Now they're going to go to a loan shark, go take a loan. That loan's going to be like astronomical prices so that they can just, you know, do it. I mean, the money's going to be there on Wednesday, but by Wednesday, now they got to pay interest on those 5 days. Yeah. And it's just small things that most people wouldn't think about, you know. There's people, I mean, perfect example, right? We're sitting here and you sent me 5,000 sets. I'm gonna tell you how much 5,000 sets. How much is 5,000? What's that in Bitcoin? 0.0000? No.
Yeah, like 4 zeros and a 5.
man, you really have this down. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 4 zeros and a 5. So you sent me $2, right?
Yep.
Like 1.6, right?
Yep.
For most people, that's 23 Namibian dollars, right? With
Mhm.
that, I can buy a loaf of bread, right? For about, if I go to a gas station, that's about 13, 14 Namibian dollars. I can buy some butter. I can buy something to make something to eat with that
Wow.
5,000 satsu, right?
I can't
Now
even
I'll
buy
give you
a
another
snack
example.
with that thing in Jamaica.
Do you see what I'm saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't buy a full-on meal, but I can buy something. You understand what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
try and eat something. Now I'll give you an example. When I got on Breeze with this podcast, the
Mhm.
first few sets that I got was like 300 and something, 300. I'm like, wait a minute. This for other people isn't real money, but even in Namibia, that's money. In somewhere
Yeah.
else where that equivalency is different, that's even more money.
Yep.
And that's when it clicked for me, like, yo, this shit, we need to ring the bell, let everybody fucking know there's ways here that we can help each other out. It's
Yeah.
not just about the money. It's about literally assisting somebody that's in need and you have the ability to. That's it.
Yeah.
So today we're going to do the faucet a little different. Instead of me putting anything on the screen, if you guys want to get the faucet for this episode, just head over to namibia.onelovebitcoin.com and you can use that faucet to get free sats. So if you're in Jamaica and you're looking to get some Bitcoin, this is the easiest way. I'm telling you, get this before everybody else does. And if you're in the US, go to swanbitcoin.com/Rastafari and get yourself some free sats over there too. If you put that in, you'll get $10 free. All right, people, back to the show.
There are places
Mathematics.
in the Caribbean that 5,000 sats would be money for them for the entire day, you know, for
See what I'm
food and drink and transportation, but they don't have access to even get the 5,000 sats yet, you know?
There we go.
So yeah, I can see what you mean. Like if we can spread this to people who need it, you know, to countries like yours and even worse that need it, oh my God, it's like they would rip this thing. They would go full speed in terms of adopting this if they had a chance to.
I
You
mean,
know?
it's just crazy. Think about how the world's moving to online work, right? We're all starting to be exactly what you are, a digital nomad, right? That's
Yeah.
what most
Speaking
of
of
the
which,
world is.
not to cut you, but I want to remember to talk to you about
Go on.
that because you're what you're doing with edutainment would be key for places like El Salvador. They're looking for things like that right now. So we should talk about that.
Oh,
to see how they can use the
yeah, fuck
program.
that shit. Yeah, let's talk
Yeah,
about that
bro.
for sure. Yeah, no, because like I said, man, paying it forward with thought, like an idea, it's an idea, right? And you can't kill an idea. You can kill a person, but once the idea has been spread, that's just like wildfire. You can never kill it once it's been voiced, right? And
Yep.
it's been heard, voiced and heard, then it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like you could kill everybody that you think heard it. Just needs one person to escape, and you're fucked. And that's what I see lightning as. It's like this infectious thing that can help everybody that wants it to help them and doesn't. I mean, it's also one of these things that people are going to use any means that they can to get over on people, but it's very difficult when it's a public ledger and we can see what the fuck you're doing, bro.
Yeah. And people are going to have all these questions about what if it's dangerous? What if they steal my money? What if this, that? Trust me, we've answered all of those questions by just fucking around with it on Plebnet and other places as well. They can't steal your sats. There's what we call justice transactions if you try, and you have to be really skilled to try in the first place. It's amazing, man. I still can't believe it's free, to be honest.
Like again, you see, and like we keep coming back to this point because I think because we've used it ourselves, and we've you know, you've been in there, you've gone into the terminals and you've seen things, you've read things, and you're like, how is this free? How is all of this free? Like I'm waiting. Like once an internet service provider, an ISP gets built on Lightning, it's fucked. Then like, and they can
Over.
hack into
It's
Google's
over.
like whole balloon strategy. It's over. We're fucking gone, bro.
Yeah, man.
Because that's all that's lacking is everybody being connected to the internet is all that's lacking. And cell phones are the easiest way through. We're getting cheaper and cheaper cell phones that have capabilities. And that's why I would tell people, get a gaming phone if you can at all, ever. If
That
you need a
helps.
new cell phone, get one that's a gaming phone because
Yeah.
it will last you. You'll have capabilities that are just wild.
Yeah. And honestly, with the gaming phone, even if you don't have Edge, even if you're on 3G, they're building parts of the Lightning Network now that will run with low latency, low data on 3G. It's like
It's
they're doing
crazy.
it. Like the incentives are there, So fuck. It's
Yeah.
like I'm
So,
excited
so,
for the future in this.
somebody said Plebnet is Skynet, and I was like, guys, fuck off. Don't go that way. We're not destroying humanity.
No,
Damn it.
for real people, I'm a human being. Like, yeah, we're
You
not
just
destroying
had some
humanity.
coffee. I had some water. We're alive. We're alive. But nah, Dread, like I said, like, and I think this is gonna be one of many sessions that you and I have on this topic, just because of how things are building. And I would like people to see how it can grow from two people just being like, hey, so what are you busy with? Oh, I'm busy with this. Just our conversation was mad random. And
Yeah.
here we are. And it
Yeah.
was also because of Roy. Shout out to Roy from Breeze. Because he
Shout
was
out
like,
to
yo,
Roy.
speak to Dread, because he might be able to help you out. You guys sound like you know what you're doing. And there we
And
go.
he was so like down to earth. Like I met him and I'm like, yo, what's up? And we're hanging out. And he's like, yeah, by the way, I built Breeze. I was like, what? You built Breeze? Like he's a mad genius. But yeah, shout out to Roy. I
And really
hope to
down
keep
to
working with
earth,
him.
really down, and like talks like quick, like you'll get on a DM with you and like quick
Yeah,
conversations. And I was like, how is this possible? How is
yeah,
this
man.
life right now? Normally I
Yeah.
would have had to go through how many connections to get to a CEO. And now we're just out here, bro. Just have a
And it's not
conversation.
just
Let me
him.
open a channel
Like
to you.
all the companies out there, the CEOs are the same. Like every Bitcoin company I've spoken to or worked with, their CEOs are the same like Roy. They're accessible, they're down to earth, they want to talk to you, they don't have any ego, and they can be wrong. And when they're wrong, they're like, oh shit, you have a better idea. Let me go ahead and implement that. And you'll see it in
Yeah.
Breeze next week in the next release,
Yeah. Dude, I'll give you an example. I tweeted something the other day, and I was literally like 3 days ago. And I was like, man, I'm on a mission today to get my currency put into apps where it's only the South African currency, because they're like pegged. So it's like one to
Mhm,
one.
mhm.
So I was like, nah, I want to see the NAD and not just ZAR for South African Rand. I want to see the NAD for Namibian dollar. So I messaged in the Breeze chat, and Ray was like, oh, thanks for telling us that. Like literally, like not even 3 hours later, South African Rand was added. I was pinged. And they were like, we're just working on the Namibian one. Like another 2 hours later, boom, Namibian one's in. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Boom,
All
strength.
in less than 24 hours. Y'all just
Mhm.
added this request in because it's a good idea to add more currency so people can see. I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be like. Not
And people
delays
keep
and
on
red tape and shit.
And people keep on thinking, oh, it's probably because they're early and they're like, super early tech adopters. Nah, bro. This is what decentralized open source software is supposed to be like. Like this is the way
Yeah.
it works. You don't have
Everyday
to,
people
there's
talking.
everyday people. Yeah,
No,
man.
you're definitely right, bro. You are so right. And like it's wild. I mean, you were on a BTC sessions is it literally showed me step by step if I missed something when my setup for my node, also did it for free. Along with just these are superstars in some of these people in some circles, like some
It's
people would
true.
call them superstars. But when
Let
you
me
talk
tell
to
you.
them, it's
Go
like
ahead.
we're having a conversation, like.
Like years ago when I first, because I have some confessions about shitcoining too. And when I was first into it, BTC Sessions is the one that I watched his videos and started understanding what like Bitcoin maximalism is and the difference between all the altcoins and what Bitcoin is. And if it wasn't for his videos, I wouldn't have known anything, to be honest with you, because I wouldn't have started to learn and read other articles and listen to other podcasts. So I owe a lot to him. And I was like fanboying the whole time when I was on his show, but I'm like, he's just another regular dude, like
like
we're,
shut up.
yeah, man.
We're all
Shit's
just
just
human beings on this weird rock, and we're just literally helping. And that's the thing for me. Lightning is what we say about, is humanity still there? Is there still humanity on this planet? That's what Lightning shows me there is. I mean, literally, how many people have open channels to throw liquidity? And when we say throw liquidity, it's money. People are throwing money, like the equivalent in
yeah,
Bitcoin, at other people to help them receive payments. That's
yeah,
what it is. So
yeah,
that they can literally get money in and live
yeah.
their lives. That's what they're doing this for the whole fucking country. And these are all people around the world, from everywhere, from Canada to Namibia to Jamaica, like fucking everywhere, people. It's wild.
Yeah, there's I think
I must sound like
19,
a
no,
crackhead.
we both do. There's like 20 countries right now that as far as I know, 20 countries in Plebnet alone that are just throwing money all over the place. And if you ask a regular person, if you tell a regular person that we're throwing money at people, they're gonna say, "You're madman. You're crazy. Ain't nobody throwing money at nobody. Like, who's gonna do that, right?" No.
But I
Plebnet
have
is.
receipts. I have receipts for it. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing, this is the other crazy thing. Somebody was saying, like, you guys do know that I was in Sphinx chat, right? When I was testing that out in the beginning as well. And you know, because every message that you send, you pay in sats,
Yeah.
right? So every single message like is a set payment that you're making. So it makes people message less and really think about what they want to send. Love the idea, especially for group chats and things like that. So when I was in there and somebody was like, you guys do know, in less than a decade, we're gonna cry because of what the equivalent of a set will be then. And looking back at how we're spending this shit saying hello, right? And I was like, no, we won't cry. We'll be part of fucking history. Because that's how you learn to get to here, is because you fucked up a little bit over there and spent like, man, I lost 10,000 sets on a poker game yesterday. And I was like, this is,
I was about to say,
Plebnet
poker is a great
crazy.
example. You were playing that one, the Plebnet poker?
Yeah, I was on a game until like 3 a.m. with crazy all the people in there. I think even like there's this one lady that I think it's Trish or somebody. She's a professional poker player, so she came in and she was like destroying people the other night as well.
And she didn't even know how to set her note up. The other day she was like struggling to plug in the note, and now she's taking people's money.
Got in and just started clearing up. I think the one table was like 30K sets that she took in one hand.
God. She probably paid for her node.
She's getting that liquidity though.
Yes. Getting that girth. That's the girth she's getting. Now you know what we're talking about when we say girth. It's that liquidity now that they're taking, they're getting. Man.
Exactly. And the reason I brought up just Sphinx Chat, just to finish off that a little bit, was because the thing with Sphinx Chat is OnlyFans, right? And this is how I want to show people like the power of Lightning. But I'll say it here just as a little tidbit, right? OnlyFans, you set up what? They take the percentage for all the content you paste. You have a paywall. People pay to get in, subscriptions, whatnot. So with Sphinx, you just set up a group chat called the Tribe. You have parameters for people to join it, that you can put a payment fee, like a joining fee that they have to pay, all up to you how much, a per message fee, and then for like people that spam and all that shit in the chat, what you have is it's called like a holding fee almost, right? So it's a deposit, and then the owner of the tribe, if they deem this thing to be spam or derogatory or whatever, they can delete your message, and then you will lose the sats that were on hold. If they don't delete your message, you get those sats back. But let's say now you're a very beautiful lady, you want to put on your OnlyFans content on there. Per message, you can put behind a paywall as well inside your tribe. That in itself is fucking insane. You can double up on your earnings and it comes directly to you. If you have it connected to a node, you don't even have to make any transfers. It goes directly to your node, aka your bank, aka nobody can fuck with it. The fuck?
Now, expand that out to your entire life now. Like, let me get cosmic for a second. Imagine people coming into your life and everything that they interact with you that you want to be part of your business or your brand or your whatever you do as an artist or as a podcaster or as an athlete, whatever you're doing, they're paying you in sats to experience it or to enjoy it or even to just be part of your company. You know what I mean? Correct. Your life will pay for itself through things like Sphinx and Breeze and Lightning.
And it's beautiful. Why? Because there's nobody charging you. Okay, like Breeze, I know Breeze does charge you a small fee because you're using their node, right? And they are working on again, you have to have some technical, like you need to know how to type in just to, but the thing is that it is possible, and they show you how. They help you. They'll be like, yo, you don't have to use our node. You can use your own, and then there is absolutely no fee. But even the fee they take is so minimal. That is like
fee.
That's
and it's actually
a convenience fee because they have to route some things to you, and it's literally those fees that they're covering with what they're charging you, nothing more. They're not making money. So when I saw that shit coming onto my mind, I was like, man, y'all don't even know what y'all just did. I'm gonna let every black person know. Damn it. I want everybody, black, white, color. I don't care who you are, what color you are. You need
especially
to learn.
Black though. Especially black.
No, because the thing is, for black people, we've always, and globally, right? we've always had this thing of trying to, right? Trying to get to this place, trying to do this, and now it's a thing of like, yo, let's just show each other how. Forget the trying, forget the pay me for this knowledge, forget the I want to be the big man, so I can only show the 4 guys near me. No. This is literally like Google should have
Yeah.
been. Like, type in what you want to know, and there it goes. Now you're in a group chat, you ask it, and there's like 50 people that are answering you at any time. There's a whole wiki page, a whole group setup. There's step-by-step guides on everything from changing your color to, man, it's your name, everything is there
Free.
for free.
And the
From the
people who
people
made
that
it
built
made it
it,
for free.
even.
Mhm.
It's crazy. I
Free.
mean, you're talking to the people that built the shit, asking them how to fix your problem, and they're telling you. They're not saying, no, send in an email to da 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 da, and we'll get back to you in the next 5 days. No, none of that bullshit. It's
Did you
now.
realize? Did you realize the people that were in the Plebnet now, like Rene Picard and a bunch of people that actually helped to build the Lightning Network? They're in the
That's
Plebnet.
they're in there. We're all together as one. There is no king, a peasant. None of that shit exists here.
Nah,
It's just a bunch
of
of
that.
plebs. And then, like, man, it's just so much. I don't even think we have time to go into a loop.
I
It
know.
blows my
I didn't
mind every
expect to,
time.
I didn't expect to riff on Plebnet so much, but yeah, you're right. It was exciting. I thought we were going to be talking about, the our different countries and the cultures, but fuck, man, Plebnet is like
But this is the thing. It brings it all
addictive.
together. It brings it all together in a way that it's like, whatever's going on in my country, I
Yeah.
know there's a way that I can find people to help me get either ideas,
Mhm.
funding together, proposals written. Like, there's a way to get assistance immediately from people that want to help you.
Yes.
That is the beauty of it. You're
Yeah.
not begging anybody, right? Nobody's out of place like, oh my God, please, can you help me? Oh, good, please. No, it's like, yo, what's up? What you need? Yeah. This is what KP had the same problem. No, check this out right here. Just check out this one. And here you go. And it's done.
Yeah.
It's just
And
good.
you
Even
can
on a
see the
Sunday,
difference.
man.
Like if you ever been in one of those like other altcoin chats or rooms or even Clubhouse and you hear them, half of them are, to your point, begging, like, oh, please, sir, my family,
Yeah.
send me some,
Mhm.
give me a airdrop or whatever. That's all they want. Hype it up. The Bitcoin rooms and the Plebnet rooms and the Lightning rooms, everybody's just asking for knowledge. Nobody's
it,
begging for
knowledge.
anything else, just knowledge.
That's it.
And it's being given
That's it.
freely. Yeah, man. Even
I mean-
now, like you said, on a Sunday, we're doing this shit. We could be outside, tanning, going in the sun, running up and down, playing ball. But
Doing
no, we're here.
something.
We're here
We're talking about
this.
lightning. And that's the beauty of it is as you were saying, right? And I want to actually just round this off in a way of letting people know why I'm so into the Plebnet thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So the technology is actually what it is for me, right? Because one thing is, if you chase money, it's cool. Money will disappear. You'll spend the money, it's gone. I've known a lot of millionaires that lost their millions, and very quickly at that too. So once you're into the technology that people pay for or are willing to pay for, or handles the money and all that, the money will come. You will get profit. You'll be able to live, but you need to know how. You'd have to be able, and again, value for value. If I can't give you something of value, why would you give me your valuables, right? Unless I'm robbing you. So that's
True.
literally that's how I see this relationship with Plebnet and what I'm trying to do with the edutainments and what you're doing. Like you see, all of this comes together because they all feed into and off of each other.
Yes, it's true.
It's
Value
knowledge
for value
transfer.
is so
That's
important.
it.
Like if you're not having that common beneficial interaction with each human action is not going to be beneficial. Like, how do you put it in Austrian terms? No one's better than their incentives. So if the communication between me and you isn't value for value, one of us is going to get robbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Someone's
just
gonna
love the
feel
fact
shysted.
that yeah, exactly. I just love that you're building this based on that first principle that, everything is value for value, even communications, even friendships. Friendships are value for value because you value that person as a human being and they value you the same way as a human being. And that's the
There we go.
communication you have. So yeah, man, it's a strong point that everything should be built off of.
And just before we finish, there we go. That's the best definition of what Plebnet is. I saw somebody else ask that in the Telegram group. Like, what is Plebnet? What is it for? It's literally friendship. Okay, it's building bonds of friendship, not trust.
Yeah.
Friendships.
That's
Okay,
right.
because I'm telling you now, there's 4 million worth of Satoshis that was opened, channels open to me by people that don't know me from a fucking bar of soap. They know
Yeah.
that I don't have the money to balance this right now. And they're
Yeah.
like, it's cool. It will balance over time. We'll route things through your nose. Just drop your fees, do your fees like this. And they're telling me how to make fees off of the money that they gave me to
Yep.
open a I, I, I need people to understand this. Like, when you say free money, and this is what I've been trying to get people to understand. I keep saying stack sats, and then I share. I'm like, yo, go to Sats for Likes. Like, this is a website, right? You can Google it. Sats for
Mhm.
Likes. I think it's called Klondike something. What. But basically, what you do is you just attach your Google account, your Twitter account. I've only used the Twitter one, and then people put up, oh, please like my tweet for 1,000 sats. Oh, please do this for 1 sat, 5 sats, whatever it is. There's always different amounts. But I've more than
Holy shit.
10,000 sats I've gotten
The
off of
first
that
time I'm
site.
seeing this. Sats for likes.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, it's
Holy
it's
shit.
basically people buying likes and stuff, but they're paying you in Satoshis, B, over Lightning.
This is amazing.
So this is what I'm trying to
Yo.
show people through these edutainment events. You get me? Like, I'm trying to
Yeah,
show
my
people
mind
how
gets
you can
blown
eat
every
for
time.
free, just with your time. Sit down on a Saturday, like some shit, retweet
Mhm.
some shit. After a couple
Mhm.
of days, you can even unlike and unretweet the thing if you want to. You already got paid.
Yeah.